Welcome everyone to this video. We are commentating on the game of Gukesh versus Duda from the Grand Chess Tour in Zagreb. But we are commentating right now from an airport lounge in Chennai. So this is the first time that I'm doing this from a lounge, and yeah, very excited for this game because Gukesh is taking on his second Duda with whom he prepared for the World Championship match. Gukesh opens the game with knight f3. Duda plays his knight out to f6. g3 played here by Gukesh, bringing the pawn forward. And Duda now deciding how he should respond. He pushes his pawn in the center. Bishop g2, e6. And Gukesh plays the double fianchetto here by playing b3. Duda very calmly brings out his bishop b2, short castles, and Gukesh also very likely to castle, but first pushes his pawn to c4, striking the center. a5 played. The idea is to play a4 forward here in this position and to put pressure here on the white camp. Gukesh takes a bit of time, brings his knight out to c3. The question is, can we push our pawn to d4? Not really, because after knight to b5, this pawn is in trouble, and if you save it with c5, then I have e3 putting a lot of pressure here. So knight c3, c6 played here by Duda, bolstering his center, and now pawn to e3. Gukesh playing some offbeat stuff here. Maybe he could have played d4 directly in the center. He goes e3, stopping d4 for the time being. This is no longer possible. And Duda pushes pawn to b6, quickly castled. Bishop comes out to a6, putting pressure on the c4 pawn. Now Gukesh can go d3 here. That does feel like a logical move. But he could also put his queen on e2. Gukesh has more time on the clock, but is using it for this move. He plays his queen to e2. And I believe Duda is going to complete his development by bringing his knight out to d7. Yes, he plays his knight to d7, pawn to d4, played by Gukesh. A mistake here, because now there's a very strong idea here that you have is a4. And why is it strong? Because if you take with the pawn, bishop c4 is better for black. And if you play, yes, he plays a4. Duda super strong here. You must take with the knight. You can also ignore the pawn on a4, but if you take with the knight, you will be in trouble. Gukesh takes it, but he misses the fact that Duda can push the pawn to b5. A fantastic move by Duda. And suddenly Gukesh is thinking like what to do, because if cb, there is cb attacking the knight goes back, and then b4 attacking the knight, as well as the queen is directly attacked by the bishop. So that's not good. So taking the pawn is incorrect. Maybe knight c3 makes a lot of sense, but then I take b takes c4 and bishop c4. So Gukesh in big trouble. He is thinking about his move here, but I doubt if he's going to find some way to come out of these issues. Has to make a decision. He's been thinking for some time. Well, right now Gukesh does have time. We are on just move number 12, but already his position is so delicate that he might well be lost here. It's insane how that one move, taking the pawn on the side of the board with his knight, has led him to a difficult scenario. And now Gukesh not able to make a move. He's thinking maybe there is also the move. Knight. There is knight c3. There is cb5. Both we've checked. Both are losing. What about knight to c5? That does seem playable. But then after knight takes c5, d takes c5, we again lead to the same position with b takes c4. So what is Gukesh going to do? Wow, he is running low on time for sure. And Duda calmly calculating all the consequences. It's not often in a Catalan like position. He goes knight c5 that you have a lost position after 12 moves. Takes, and what? He gives up a piece. He gives up a full piece, Gukesh here. Instead of taking on c5, which he thought was a mistake, he goes knight e5. And his idea is to attack c6. But this cannot be right. Black can simply jump with the knight in the center. How about knight e4 here? He plays pawn takes pawn, which is the best move in the position. Now remember, if you take here, d takes c5, I have c3 and I attack the bishop and your queen. So that is impossible. B takes c4, a very good intermediate move. And if you were to take back, maybe black can decide where to go with the knight. Now once again Gukesh taking a lot of time. He already has less than 2 minutes on the clock. What's his move going to be here? There you see Gukesh looking away from the board. He is not happy at all. Unhappy with his move. Unhappy with how he's played here. And now Duda might even be like so much better. He takes with 1 minute 9 seconds. And some juicy choices now, because okay, the knight is attacked. You can jump into a4. You can also go back to d7. When the knight goes back, you are actually a piece up. He goes back. Black is a piece up, remember that. And so even if Gukesh manages to win the c6 pawn, which he does, then queen to e8 should solve all the problems here. Also bishop to c4 should be considered here, which gives black a completely winning advantage. I think Duda is a very pragmatic player. He will take his time and then finish off Gukesh with accurate calculations. He takes on c4, very nice move. And Gukesh now considering his options here. He plays his queen to d2, but now black simply goes queen e8. He plays rook c1. In return for a piece, white has just a pawn. This cannot be enough compensation for sure. Knight to b6 he goes. And Gukesh down to 40 seconds on the clock. He needs to make his move. He takes on e7, queen takes e7, and now bishop goes to c3. Threatening a very simple move, bishop b4 to attack the queen and the rook. Duda simply goes rook c8, bishop b4 played, and now queen to d7 looks strong. And just play his queen here. Duda being super careful. He knows that the wins against world champion don't come too easy. But this one was an easy win here. Bishop c5. Knight a4. And now rook takes c4. So he gives up a piece. Trades on a8. And Duda takes back. Rook takes a8. The queen comes to b4. And Duda pushes the pawn to c3. His knight is defended, and the knight defends the pawn, and Gukesh resigns. What a emphatic win here for Duda in just 25 moves. But even so, the game was already over after 13 or 14 moves. Black had built up a decisive edge.